Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Emergency Telephone System Board Meeting of the Village of Wheeling for December 15, 2014. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. For a moment of silence for past President Ted Scanlon, who passed away last Wednesday. His visitation will be tomorrow night at Cossack Funeral Home from 3 to 8, and the funeral mass at St. Joe's on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. So in honor of Ted. Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Board Member Hine.
Here.
Board Member Brady.
Here.
Board Member Lang.
Here.
Board Member Kruger.
Present.
Board Member Vogel.
Here.
Board Member Here.
Here.
Board Member Benson.
Here.
Board Member Weeder.
Here.
And Board Member McIsaac informed the board he would not be here this evening, and Chairperson Argyris.
Here. Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of December 16, 2013.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Board Member Hare, second by Board Member Lang. Roll call, please.
Board Member Hine.
Yes.
Board Member Brady.
Yes.
Board Member Lang.
Yes.
Board Member Kruger.
Yes.
Board Member Vogel.
Yes.
Board Member Here.
Yes.
Board Member Benson.
Yes.
Board Member Weeder. Yes. Chairperson Argyris.
Yes, thank you. Item 5, Madam Clerk.
Resolution adopting the Village of Wheeling Emergency 911 budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2015 and ending December 31st, 2015, and authorizing the expenditure of budget funds from the Emergency Telephone System Fund.
Thank you. Manager Svandos, you want to add anything to it?
Nothing to add. However, all of our representatives are here this evening with the exception of Chief McIsaac, who can answer any specific questions you may have.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Board Member Vogel.
Second.
Second by, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Kruger. Roll call, please.
Board Member Hine.
Yes.
Board Member Brady.
Yes.
Board Member Lang.
Yes.
Board Member Kruger.
Yes.
Board Member Vogel.
Yes.
Board Member Here.
Yes.
Board Member Benson.
Yes.
Board Member Weeder. Yes. Chairperson Argyris.
Yes, thank you. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Board Member Hine, second by Board Member Brady. Roll call, please.
Board Member Hine.
Yes.
Board Member Brady.
Yes.
Board Member Lang.
Yes.
Board Member Kruger.
Yes.
Board Member Vogel.
Yes.
Board Member Here.
Yes.
Board Member Benson.
Yes.
Board Member Weeder. Chairperson Argyris.
Yes, thank you. The special meeting of the Liquor Control Commission is now called to order. Roll call, please.
6:33. 6:34. Commissioner Hine.
Here.
Commissioner Brady.
Here.
Commissioner Lang.
Here.
Commissioner Kruger.
Yes. Here.
Commissioner Vogel.
Here.
Commissioner Here.
Here. Chairperson
Argyris.
Yes, thank you. Here. Item 4A.
In consideration of a Class A liquor license for Gin 28-3 Incorporated, DBA Golden Chef, 600 South Milwaukee Avenue.
Thank you. Manager Svandos.
Thank you. For your consideration this evening is a Class A liquor license for the new management of the Golden Chef restaurant. Staff recommends approval conditional on satisfactory background checks.
Thank you. Commissioner Vogel, you have a question?
That was answered, thank you.
It was. Any other questions from the board?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Lang, second by Commissioner Brady. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hine.
Yes.
Commissioner Brady.
Yes.
Commissioner Lang.
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel.
Yes.
Commissioner Here.
Yes.
Chairperson Argyris.
Yes, thank you. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hare, second by Commissioner Kruger. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hine.
Yes.
Commissioner Brady.
Yes.
Commissioner Lang.
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel.
Yes.
Commissioner Here.
Yes.
Chairperson Argyris.
Yes, thank you. The regular meeting for December 15th is now called to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein.
Here.
Trustee Brady.
Here.
Trustee Lang.
Here.
Trustee Krueger.
Present.
Trustee Vogel.
Here.
Trustee Here.
Yes.
President Juris.
Yes, here. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the special meeting of November 24, 2014.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Lang, second by trustee Brady. Roll call.
Brady. Trustee Hein.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Lang.
Yes.
Trustee Krueger.
Yes.
Trustee Vogel.
Yes.
Trustee Here.
Yes.
President Argyris.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Abstain, right?
Yeah, Trustee Brady needed to abstain.
I do?
You weren't here at the 24th.
Sorry. I'll
That's okay.
retract my second.
No, you can make the
You can
motion.
second, but you can't vote on it.
Oh, okay. I'll
Okay.
retract my vote.
Okay.
Thanks, Ken. Changes to the agenda, anything?
None this evening.
Proclamations?
Universal Hour of Peace, December 31st, 2014. The United States of America has historically been a melting pot where people of all nationalities, religious faiths, and cultures come together as one, and as the strength of our great city rests in the cooperative community of its citizens. Our only hope of establishing peace among the diverse people is through recognizing our connectedness and common dream of peace on earth. The first day of a new year typically denotes hopeful expectation and positive resolves in the hearts and minds of our citizens. The School of Metaphysics, a worldwide organization founded in our country to promote peace, understanding, and goodwill through teaching that living peaceably begins by thinking peacefully, has called for a universal hour of peace over the midnight hour, December 31st, 2014 to January 1st, 2015. Dean Argyris, President of the Village of Wheeling, does hereby proclaim December 31st at 11:30 p.m. local time as the universal hour of peace, when the people of Wheeling might stand united in common purpose, committing ourselves in thought and action so peace may move across the face of the earth in the dawning of the new year.
Thank you. Citizens' concerns and comments?
There are none, Mr. President.
Thank you. There are no staff reports. Consent agenda?
All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be separate. Wait, there will be no, actually by one, wait, can I start all over?
Sure.
Okay. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items.
Thank you. Any concerns? Entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Here,
Second.
second by trustee Krueger. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Lang.
Yes.
Trustee Krueger.
Yes.
Trustee Vogel.
Yes.
Trustee Here.
Yes.
President Argyris.
Yes, thank you. 13A.
13A, ordinance amending Title 8 of the Wheeling Village Code to impose a medical cannabis dispensing organization impact fee.
Thank you. Village Attorney Ferrello.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before the board this evening is a medical cannabis dispensing organization impact fee, which is an amendment to the village code. While the provisions would be added to Title 8 of the village code, which are entitled Public Health and Safety. And the impact fee has been developed to account for what we believe and the police department believes to be additional police services that will be necessitated as a result of the location and operation of a medical cannabis dispensary in the village of Wheeling. These additional police services include the cost of monitoring, patrol, and enforcement of the lawful use of medical cannabis within the village of Wheeling. The fee is an annual fee of $20,000 per year. It's payable prior to the issuance of a business license here in the village and payable annually thereafter at the time that the business license would have to be renewed. With that, I can answer any additional questions.
Mr. President?
Trustee Lang first.
Thank you. Is this fee, if we find that there's a lot more impact than meets the eye right now, it's something we can always adjust?
That's correct. And there's a provision specifically in the ordinance that provides that we will review the ordinance from time to time to determine whether or not it is in line with the impacts. At this point, these are anticipated impacts. If it gets worse, we could certainly adjust the ordinance.
Thank you.
Trustee Here.
That was my question. Thank you.
Trustee Brady.
In several things that were put as conditions on this docket I have issues with, and only because of the fact that if per se this business does get selected by the state to receive a license, I'd like to see these corrections now before we get back at it later on. First of all, it calls for, the recommendations by the Planning Commission calls for removing the pine tree.
Excuse me, Trustee Brady?
Yes?
That's the next docket.
Wait a minute.
This is the impact fee, 13A. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
A?
Yes.
Sorry.
This is
about that.
imposing an impact fee of $20,000
I had
annually.
my note on the wrong one.
No problem.
Thank you.
Any questions regarding that?
No,
Okay.
we're good.
Manager Svendelis?
I did have one thing that I'd like to add. We did have a petitioner, just so that the board is aware, request that for the first year, the initial year, because the expectation is that they won't be able to get up and running until at least mid-year, that the board consider prorating the first year's fees. I bring that up only because it was requested of me. Certainly, it is your choice as to whether or not you would like to entertain that request.
And after talking with Manager Svendelis about that, I don't think that, I think the initial year is going to be the most work on our staff. So I would not personally be in favor of prorating any initial fee for that business. Agreed. Trustee Vogel?
Is there a maximum, Jim, Attorney Ferrello, is there a maximum that we can set?
Well,
By
as
state
far as
law?
an impact fee?
Right, by state law or not?
Yeah, well, an impact fee has to be, the amount you come up with has to be as accurate as possible in terms of the costs that are attributable to this new use. And we did a review, and this is what the police department came up with in terms of what costs would be uniquely attributable to this new use. You can't just arbitrarily pick a number. You have to have some, there has to be some analysis that supports the number, and this is what the staff recommends.
Okay, because we see it in the papers, and I know you can't always believe what you see in there, but any fees from 0 to 100,000.
Well, I think what you're talking about is the Schaumburg fee.
Right.
And Schaumburg did not adopt that fee at this point. They pulled it off their agenda recently. And the fear of going too high is you create a fee that can't be supported. Impact fees have to be supportable. And this is the number that we believe
Can work.
puts us in line.
I agree with President Argyris. I think the first year is going to be the worst. And maybe we look at the circumstances of who comes in and asks. And if there's a way to give them a break the first year, we do. But I don't think it should be part of the ordinance. No proration should be part of the ordinance.
Trustee Kruger? Comment on
I
that?
agree with the no proration. I was going to ask if there are any other communities that have adopted a impact fee yet.
Not very many. Des
Plains
Plaines
just did.
adopted 15,000 recently, about 3 weeks ago. Elk Grove has a modified agreement, like a host agreement, but very few. You're on the cutting edge. Others may come, but this is evolving.
It's a good place to be, I think, and it's forward-thinking as well as long as it's justifiable.
Trustee Brady, anything on that?
You know, I agree. I don't think we should put any conditions on this. As a matter of fact, let it at that for a year or so and see what it is. And if anything, it'd be easy enough to lower it. But I'd rather do that than start out lower and then find out we have to raise it
Right.
later on.
But you're not in favor of giving any prorations
No,
regarding the
no.
initial fee? Trustee Hare?
No proration.
Trustee Hine?
Nothing at
Trustee Lang?
No.
Okay.
I do have a question, though.
Sure.
One more, sorry.
Sure.
When will the state start issuing licenses? I was going to ask for the next go-around, but this is as appropriate time as any. When do you think the state will finally start issuing licenses for this?
What we heard is January. Bill, have you heard something any different than that?
I think we'll get an update with the presentations. I've heard mid-2015.
Oh, so later, okay.
Yeah. Is that correct? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions? Entertain a motion to
So moved.
approve. Motion by Trustee Lang,
Second.
second by Trustee Hare. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hine?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes,
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee
Yes.
He- Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes, thank you. 13B,
Ordinance granting special use approval for medical cannabis dispensary within an existing industrial building, 520 Quail Hollow Drive, Suite 100, docket number 2014-19.
thank you.
Village Planner Jennings.
Thank you. In front of you this evening, there are 2 of the 4 petitions that we've received. 3 out of the 4 petitions for medical cannabis dispensary have been through the public hearing process. The 4th has elected to delay that process. The ordinances in front of you each have a condition of approval, actually several conditions of approval that are unique to this particular type of business. They reference the state regulations, the need for state licensing. What I'd like to do at this point is if the petitioner for the Quail Hollow Drive, if you could introduce yourself and possibly answer any questions, that would be great.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Beata Cabani. I'm the representative for North Shore Patient Relief, and I'm here to answer questions you may have concerning conditional approval for the facility.
Thank you. For the record, Andrew, you want to just read off those conditions so we have it?
Sure. The conditions are as follows. Number 1, that the perpendicular parking in the rear is modified to parallel parking. Number 2, that the no access areas shall be marked and posted as fire lanes. Number 3, that the hours of operation may be increased to 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. in accordance with the state regulations. Number 4, that the east elevation plan is modified to maintain the existing configuration, utilizing spandrel glass and reinforcing the wall from the interior. Number 5, that the concrete block walls are repaired and painted for a uniform appearance. Number 6, that the fence is to be a board-on-board cedar fence as shown on sheet J 2.1, proposed fence plan, with the petitioner working with the property owner to the east to attempt to remove the existing chain link fence. Number 7, that a trash enclosure is to be placed along the north property line and west property line using a material to match the fence. Number 8, that the petitioner remove the scrub vegetation along the east property line while installing the fence and extend the decorative grass plantings to the north end of the property. Number 9, that the special use is subject to approval of a dispensary license by the state of Illinois. And finally, number 10, that the business shall be subject to an impact fee with the frequency and amount of the payment as established by the corporate authorities under an amendment to the village municipal code through the ordinance that you just passed.
Thank you, Andrew. Manager Svendelos.
I just wanted to remind the board and the public a little bit about the process. Tonight we're talking, in general, not specific to this petitioner. Tonight we're talking to 2 businesses that are looking to come into the community. In total, we have 4 petitioners with 4 different sites looking to open a dispensary in the village of Wheeling. And just to avoid any confusion, remember that the state issues licenses based on district boundaries that they created. There is only 1 license available for the entire district. So whether there is only 1 petitioner or that you approve, or whether there's 25 petitioners that you approve to open a dispensary, there still is only 1 license for the entire district. And there are 2 other petitioners that we know of in other communities that are within our district boundaries. So no matter how many of these you approve, the Village of Wheeling still may never see a dispensary in our community. So I just wanted to be clear because there are a couple on here tonight, and I didn't want anyone to walk away thinking that there are going to be a number of dispensaries open in the Village of Wheeling. There is potential, of course, that they will, but there's also potential that no one within the village's corporate limits will actually receive the license from the state.
And just to clarify that, the zoning for these type of uses are in an I zone, in an industrial zone, not in a commercial zone, business zone anywhere, or residential area. So with that, I know Trustee Brady, you had some questions?
Yes, I do. Sorry,
No problem.
I still getting these nuances of my new iPad, and
That's
you know,
good.
things don't always go where you want to put them. But anyways, I was in reading through this several times in the findings and facts with the meetings in the Plan Commission and staff and that, it was mentioned about the trees. So several pine trees and several maple trees are going to be taken down. It isn't in the conditions, but it was mentioned in there. And are you considering taking them down, or?
There is a number, there are 2 types of trees that we've discussed during the process of our application. One type is the overgrown trees you will see in the slide above me. And we felt that taking down the big trees and replacing it with more pleasing and more up-to-date greenery would be appropriate for this type of development. And the second type of trees we were talking about were diseased trees all the way on the back of the property. I think we've reached a consensus that, trees that are not healthy to begin with, it would be okay to take them down and replace it with some other type of planting material.
Okay, well, whether these trees are more appealing than whatever you're going to be putting in, trees are appealing in it themselves. And those two pine trees, if it's just for the sake of taking them down to get better visibility in the front, you could trim the lower branches and give you a good view from the street underneath the trees to see the building without destroying them whole trees. Now, there's a lot of trees in that section of the village, and I hate to see anybody take trees down. I'd rather see you trim them up and keep them trimmed. As far as the other trees that you're talking about, and that's related to those black spots, that is not a diseased tree. That is a phenomenon. I talked to Lori Hazelwood this fall because all over town we have trees like that, and it's something to do with the wetness of the summer and the trees. They produce the black spot. I wish she was here because she described it so nicely that this should just go away next year as time goes on. So there'd be no need to take any of those trees down unless they were in your way, for any additions or the sort.
They are not in the way, they are not any kind of obstruction, and we could talk and consult with arborists and maybe present the village commission on what we would feel at that time would be appropriate action, and then we would welcome your feedback.
Our forester, Mrs. Hazelwood, she could go out there and inspect the trees and verify that spot is the same type of a phenomenon that's going on all over town with the maple trees this year. It's not disabling, it's not going to kill the tree, it's just not very pretty right now because of the black spots. And the pine trees too. It takes a long time to grow nice pine trees like that. I hate to see you take them down.
Well, they are gorgeous.
It's the easiest thing to do, and they say, well, we'll replace it with something nice, but what could you say is nicer than trees that size? And then the last thing is this privacy fence. Our ordinance says around certain commercial types of property, we got to put privacy fences. This is ludicrous here. It's not enclosing anything. I mean, because we're not shutting it off back there. You can't close that yard up. If it's for a vision, who's going to see it? The other factory across the way, railroad as it goes by. What you got here is putting two fences in. If the landlord don't want to take the chain link fence down, it'll be an illegal fence because we can't put two fences on the same property line. I would say just leave it. If the chain link fence is in need of a repair, fix it. But I think for security purposes, you'd want to see through the fence at what's going on in the back of the building. Your neighbors, if they should see something going on, instead of building a fence for privacy. From what? It's not. There's no residential on there. There's nothing around there that would require a privacy fence. That's just my opinion. I think we as a board should look at that, and yeah, our code says it because in a lot of instances for barriers and a lot of different reasons, there's other businesses that are close up to this here, but this is so secluded back there that I don't think we have a need to put a privacy fence up, especially when a wood fence that you have to be maintaining every 5 years.
I think with your concern, I will just defer to our security consultant. I have not been in this type of business before, and I think that this is all new to us, and it ties in very nicely to the concerns that the village had about increased cost of monitoring, because we frankly don't know what to expect. So I am open to your suggestions. We can agree to whatever your suggestion is, but I think that the decision would have to be deferred to the time when the license is granted and when we actually do any type of property development.
That's a recommendation of the Plan Commission that they do it, but if you had gates on both sides of that you could lock that up and keep everybody out of it, maybe and store stuff out there, maybe it would be a nice addition for a privacy fence. But there's nothing, people can drive around there day or night, so what's the privacy fence? If they go back there and park at night and nobody can see them because there's a fence there, might be more of a problem than not having a privacy fence.
I think one of the concerns that was brought up is there's an asphalt road on the back of the property, and one of the security concerns was that we did not want anyone to be getting on that road and kind of surveilling the property during or after business hours. So,
No, it's not really a road, it's a path to the water tower. I think, yeah, anybody could drive on it, but sitting back there and you know, you really don't conduct any outside activities that they could observe unless they're going to wait till the truck pulls up with a delivery or something. I don't know. It's just a thought. I'm not only one of many up here that, you know, have opinions on this here, and I just figured I'd bring it up because I hate to see money wasted when it's not necessary. That's all. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Trustee Lang?
Well, changing gears a little bit, so say we give you an approval tonight, what's the process that you go through with the state? If you can walk us through that.
The process is that we are awaiting, just like all other applicants, on a word from the state of who has been selected. That selection could be conditional, or it could be with ready to, we don't know yet how it will look like. Once that approval is granted, we need to go and further the application process and finish the application with the state. The state officials, it's my understanding, the state officials will come, survey the property, will make sure that we are in compliance with all the local ordinances and local code, and later on they will oversee and make sure that everything we have put in the plan is present and operational within our facility. So the commitment we have made to security equipment, to personnel, to the surroundings, to the location, all of this has to be exactly as we stated in our application.
And have you gone through this process with any other villages in this area?
No, this is the only village where we have applied.
Thank you.
Trustee Hein?
Thank you. What is your position with the company? What are you going to be doing there? Are you the manager? Or?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you managed one of these facilities before?
No.
Okay. You're going to be handling a lot of cash over there and so on and so forth. And I noticed that you were going to have a secured area in the building. Are you going to have a direct alarm to the police department in case you need them?
We have discussed the security arrangements at length during our previous hearing. We may not necessarily handle a lot of cash because of the recent changes in state law where there is a possibility that we may be allowed to open bank account and conduct credit card or debit card transactions. There is some movement on that front. So large amounts of cash, not necessarily. In terms of security, there are 4 independent layers of security. We are not a cultivation center. We don't have a requirement to be directly monitored 24/7, but we do have very sophisticated multi-layer plan in place that involves different types of surveillance, not only video, audio, but also other items.
Okay. I don't know of any change in the state law relative to handling cash or credit. There has been some talk that on a federal level that is happening with some of the banks, the federal banks. However, I'm a little concerned about your location. Where is your location in proximity to the entire building? Are you in the front of the building or are you in the back of the building?
We are on the back of the building. However, we have made a commitment to purchase the entire building. So If we will see how it works. At one point, if we feel the front of the building is more suitable for our operation, we are at liberty to move it.
Okay. And the walls that are between each unit, what are they made of?
Okay, again, we've discussed it previously. It's part of the security plan, and we, in working with our contractor, there will be some reinforcements and special materials used to make sure that we meet the state requirements.
What's in there now?
It's a drywall,
It's a drywall. And you have metal studs in there, or you have wood studs in there?
metal studs,
Wood studs?
metal.
Metal studs. Okay. Are you contemplating having a security guard there at all,
Yes, our plan calls for 4 security guards.
20, all the time?
Not all the time, 4 security guards during operation and reduced personnel off operation.
And your hours are from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., is that
No,
correct?
those are the hours suggested by the state regulation. What they want to be sure is that we are not open, I guess, more or less, I'm not sure. But they would like us to be operational within those hours.
The 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. is a maximum that is issued by the state of Illinois.
Correct.
But you have the privilege to have any hours you set.
Yes,
They're not telling you exactly how many hours that you need to do.
yes.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else? No? Okay, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Lang, second by trustee Vogel. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
No.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes. Good luck. 13C.
Ordinance granting special use approval for medical cannabis dispensary within an existing industrial building at 1716 South Wolf Road, docket number 2014-17.
Andrew?
Thank you. This particular location on Wolf Road had similar conditions of approval. I'll just read through them real quick. Number 1, that the operating hours of 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. may be extended to 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. as allowed by the state. Number 2, that the glass block is limited to the south elevation with the front windows to be shatterproof glass. Number 3, the petitioner work with the landlord to secure a second accessible parking stall near the front entrance. Number 4, that the construction of the ramp and associated drainage meet the specifications of the village engineer. Number 5, that the special use is subject to approval of a dispensary license by the state of Illinois. And number 6, that the business shall be subject to an impact fee as was just approved.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Nobody? How you doing?
Great, how are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Trustee
Sorry, I
Hein?
have a question. Let me ask you the same questions that I asked the first petitioner. Are you going to have a direct line to the police department?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. And is this a multi-tenant building, or is it a single standing?
It's a multi-tenant building.
And where are you in proximity to the building?
We are on the southernmost end of the building.
Okay. You have a major street that's in front of you?
Yes, Wolf Road.
Thank you. And you will have a security guard 24/7?
We're going to have a security guard during all open hours.
And what are your hours?
Right now, we're planning on around 10 to 7, but where it's going to be based on patient need.
Okay. And what type of walls are in this particular building?
There's cinder block walls between the 2 units, and it's a brick building, so on the exterior, it's all brick, and on the inside, we are going to do bulletproof steel.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. President,
Trustee Here?
I do have one question. Is there anything that's mandated that they have to stay X number of feet from a residential area?
Yes, 1,000 feet.
And how far are you from the residents across?
Or no, I'm sorry, 1,000 feet from a school or any school we have to be 1,000 feet from. There's nothing with residential. I think Wheeling wants you 250 yards away from any residential, which we are.
Okay, thanks.
Andrew, are we?
We basically copied the state regulations with respect to the proximity. It's not allowed to be in a residential district, but it can be adjacent to a residential district. The cultivation center had a very strict proximity regulation. The dispensaries were viewed as being more compatible with residential and commercial uses, but were not allowed in a residential district. So this particular facility, if approved, would meet the regulations.
It would, okay. Any other questions?
Mr. President?
Sure, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm sorry. My name's Matthew Gagerman, and our company is Total Healthcare LLC.
And your position with Total?
I'm going to be the managing partner.
And I'll ask a question that was asked earlier by one of my colleagues. Have you applied in any other community?
I have not applied in any other communities, just Wheeling.
Then I'll ask why Wheeling?
Yeah, Wheeling's a growing community, actually. I live out in Deerfield, and you know, it's a bustling little community. It's, I think, in the North Shore, and I think it'd be a great place to do business.
It is. And your experience with medical cannabis?
I have no experience with medical cannabis. I own 25 financial service centers in Illinois, and we own other ones out of state. And the financial service centers are basically currency exchanges. And this business, whether it be cannabis or distributing cash, it's all distributing something under a regulated environment. And in fact, the department that regulates the check cashing industry is also the same department that's offering licenses for this pilot program. So I feel it's very similar to what I already do, and I distribute and handle large amounts of cash on a daily basis.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Do you have any of those businesses here in town that you own?
No, my cousin just sold, actually. He had the one on Dundee and Milwaukee that he just sold. It's a very nice establishment, actually.
Okay. Any other questions? Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Lang, second by trustee Kruger. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a nice evening.
You too. 13D.
Ordinance amending ordinance number 4754, which granted special use and associated site plan approval for religious assembly within an existing building for a Shir Hadash Reconstructionist Synagogue, 200 West Dundee Road, docket number 2014-20.
Thank you. Mr. Jennings.
Thank you. The actions proposed in this special use amendment are related to the planned unit development next door at the Whitley. The synagogue is requesting a special use amendment that would, number one, match up with the property boundaries following the transaction with the Whitley. And then number two, they're requesting the site plan update to include the landscape plan that's related to the Whitley. The amendment would also acknowledge the shared parking agreement that was approved just recently when the Whitley was in front of you. There are 6 conditions of approval in the ordinance for your consideration. The 6th one was updated earlier today, and I will read through that, and I can answer questions about the update. Number 1, that a community garden or orchard shall be permitted without publishing a new public hearing. Number 2, that the requirements of the Life Safety Code as described in the Fire Department memo dated January 17, 2013 are met. Number 3, that the floor plans associated with the future use of the south wing shall be submitted for staff for a determination as to the extent of the review required. Number 4, that the synagogue shall address potential conflicts on Sunday afternoons with measures such as hiring a traffic control officer, restricting left turns, or adjusting the start or end times of the school. Number 5, that the petitioner shall work with staff to adjust the landscape plan, particularly with respect to visibility and safety concerns. And number 6, which is the new one, Parking available to the subject property shall be 101 stalls, including the 68 stalls on the subject property and the 33 stalls illustrated on the site plan for the adjacent property approved in ordinance number 4905 and subject to the shared parking agreement as described in resolution number 14-152.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Your name, please?
My name is Steve Friedland. I'm an attorney with Applegate Thorne Thompson, represent Shir Hadash. I'd also introduce Glenn Graff, who's the president of Shir Hadash, who's with us tonight. I think Andrew's recitation is very helpful and clear. I think we're all familiar with the term, the tail wagging the dog. We're the tail. You had the dog last week, and you talked about the new development that the Whitley is preparing. This is really, we're just catching up to them because we couldn't get before you after our Plan Commission hearing. And it's basically a reconfiguration of the Shir Hadash site with an ability for the synagogue to get 33 more parking spaces through our agreement with the Whitley. So we're certainly able to answer any questions you might have, but I'm sure you're well familiar with that development.
Sure. Thank you. Questions from the board? Trustee Lang?
I just want to make a comment, Glenn. I want to commend you and your team for working so well with the Whitley Group at this cross-access. It's tremendous to see two organizations work together so well to make a really nice, so far the plans look great, so I'm looking forward to a finished product. And it's great that you guys have worked together and done that cross-access because it's really important. Thank you.
Anybody else? I just want to piggyback on that, Glenn. You guys, we came up with that idea to work with you, with the Whitney Group, and you guys did it. And I'm really looking forward to that development there, and I think it's awesome. On a side note, maybe you can go to the rest of your congregation over there and kind of encourage something maybe around the holiday time to do something. I mean, I get a lot of phone calls from a lot of folks that don't live here, but that travel through our town regarding different things like whether it be the menorah or something else or from a Catholic church or a Korean church. And we've always encouraged that on your site and stuff like that. So by all means, if you feel, yeah, something, I mean, if you look at Milwaukee and Dundee and right across the street here at the Village Hall and how we take the holiday season for everybody and do something, festive, I mean, by all means, I would welcome that. I think that'd be awesome to see and be proud of that. So just a little side note on that. But if there's not any more questions, I entertain a motion.
So move.
Motion by Trustee Harris, second by Trustee Hein. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Have a good holiday. 13E.
Resolution adopting a strategic plan, a mission statement, and a vision statement for the Village of Wheeling.
Thank you. Just a quick comment to my fellow elected officials, board members here, our village staff, and the members of the community. The Village of Wheeling has renewed its determination to shape the future of our community by engaging a formal process of strategic planning. The pages that follow illustrate visions that were developed by the village elected officials, along with specific goals that the village staff has set in order to realize these ambitions. This strategic planning process defined and applied values of our village to create a framework for organizing the efforts we make on behalf of the community, both in terms of how we provide the services to our residents and businesses and how we help to shape Wheeling's growth in the long run. I stand behind the results of this study, and I look forward to working with the Board of Trustees and the village staff to making Wheeling the highest aspiration a reality. With that, I'd like to thank staff. We had numerous meetings over the summer. The input from the board was awesome. The groups were great. And I think we got a game plan here that we can all be proud of for the next couple of years and gives us some clear direction on where we want to go. So before I go to you, Trustee Lang, I know Mr. Svandilis has something to say.
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to reiterate everything President Argyros said and just go into a little bit of detail about what the plan looks like. Hard copies are available at the end of the dais there for anyone who would like one. Beginning tomorrow morning, we will have a media campaign that officially releases it to the public. It will be available on our website. We'll put it out through our social media outlets, et cetera. In addition, as you walked in, you may have seen something that looks similar to the full document, and what that does is it outlines the goals that were created as part of the themes that were identified by the village board. As President Argyris said, we met collectively as a group with the department heads, staff, and the elected officials. And the elected officials came up with themes that captured the most important aspects of life in the community. From those themes, we then did or in conjunction with those themes, we did a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis, and we're able to identify certain functions that relate to those themes. From those discussions, staff was able to create both long and short-term goals, specific projects that relate to each theme, and put them in a time frame in order to accomplish them. So outside you will see the 2015, 2016 goals. We will have every 6 months, I will present a formal update to the board and to the public as to where we are in accomplishing those goals, so that this never becomes a document that just sits on a shelf somewhere. This is meant to provide some identity for our future and a roadmap to get there, and then some accountability as well, so that everyone understands where our efforts are focused, both from a staff level and from an elected level. If you'll indulge me, I'd like to read the mission and vision statements just so that everyone is aware. They are referenced in part of this ordinance, should you approve them. And the mission statement is as follows. The mission of the Village of Wheeling is to provide public services that support the evolving needs of and improve the overall safety, health, and welfare of our residents and businesses. The vision statement reads, the Village of Wheeling is a community where individuals and families want to live and businesses are encouraged to succeed. Core services provided by the Village of Wheeling support residents and help businesses to maximize their potential. These are updates to two previous statements that the village had adopted many years ago, and obviously these came from direct quotes from the elected officials, and we discussed these in particular during those meetings as well. And then again, anyone who would like to go through the book, you will see a little bit more detail about what each theme is and what the specific goals are for the coming 2 years. We plan to do this again in the second cycle, so we will have following 2016 another set of goals. After that, we'll go through the whole process again. We believe this document will carry us that long. And honestly, I believe you're going to see a lot of these themes continue beyond just this strategic plan and well into the future, because they are broad enough, and that's the intention, to make sure that the themes are broad enough that they capture the business of the community, and those probably won't change too much. It's going to be the goals that change, that fall under each theme. I think that is all that I needed to say. Again, I can answer any question. I appreciate the elected officials' willingness to be a part of this. This was a long road. I appreciate staff's continued input in order to prioritize goals. It sounds like an easy thing to just say, well, here's the umbrella theme, and here's everything that falls under it. But to make sure that these are accomplishable goals that we can be held accountable for is a difficult task when there is so much business to be done in the village, and I appreciate everyone's hard work to get that done. And with that, I will answer any questions.
Thank you. Trustee Lang?
Thank you. Well, John, you did answer my question, but I didn't want to state that, you know, out of all the processes that we've gone through for strategic plans, our facilitator was really good this time. And that really helped, because he pulled that information out of us and asked the right questions to get us to say these things. So it was really a good process. Secondly, where are we going to hang those?
They're going to be where the wreath is now, so they're the first thing that everyone sees as they walk into the boardroom.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you.
And don't worry, I'm not offended that the last leader of the strategic plan, which was me. But I actually agree with you. I think it was a huge benefit to have an outsider come in and facilitate. I think one of the challenges of having the manager do it is that there's a dynamic there that needs to be separated. And I think he did a great job of doing exactly what you said by putting staff and the board together to work collectively as opposed to separating me out as part of the process. I think it was a very good idea, and I think that is a key credit to our success.
Right. It allowed you to be part of the process,
Yes.
so I appreciate that.
Trustee Vogel, any comments?
Nothing, thank you. Just
Behind.
good job.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. This is a very important document because it did take a lot of time and a lot of effort on everybody involved in the governing of this community. And there's a lot of good things in here. And I think it's important that we get this message out to everybody that they are a part of the process. So I would make the suggestion that every taxing body and our partners get a copy of this, and that the members of those committees and commissions get a copy of it, and also our employees get a copy of this too, because they are a part, and they're a big part of our team. But I've been involved in government here for a long time, and I must say that this is a very fine document, and that anybody that wants to come into our villages surely know that we are all on the same team. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clerk Simpson, you were a part of it. Any comments?
No, I think it's a very good article. I mean, a very good booklet.
Thanks. Trustee here?
I have to just say the same thing. Very nice job.
Trustee Kruger?
I think it was an outstanding effort. I do some of this stuff, these facilitated meetings of strategic plans, or at least I'm the person who takes all the notes, and so I've seen it happen in corporate America. So I'm pleased that we embarked on this together. I'm more pleased that every 6 months we'll hear about how we're doing, so that it is not a dusty document that sits on a shelf that makes no sense and would really do no justice to the time spent. And I'm most proud that in your cover memo, this is the first true and measurable strategic plan the village has adopted. And I'm very proud to be a part of that. Thank you.
Trustee Brady?
You know, I agree with Trustee Lang. All the years that sat in on these strategic planning things, you write what's in your head on the board, and everybody goes around and puts their stickers on it, and then you pick up the one with the most stickers. This was done a little differently, that we sat in mixed groups at tables and discussed things. I mean, staff, trustees, planning commissioners, what have you, things that we all kind of hammered on and as a group came up with and wrote them down, and then we put them up there and categorized them in a manner of importance. And I think that putting everybody's heads together instead of just the trustees talking, staff talking, planning commission talking, it gave us a little bit more of a broader field of things that are important to the village and should be important to the village. And reading through this here, I can't really see anything we missed, to be honest with you. And I want to make sure that this doesn't fall by the wayside, that we do keep it right in front of our eyes at all times and review it periodically.
On a personal note, I want to thank John, because a year ago this time, John and I sit down at the end of the year and we come up with game plans for the next year. And one of the number one things I wanted to do is to have a strategic plan, get somebody outside of the box, outside of the village, and bring us together. Because what's nice about this board, there's 7 of us up here with Elaine. Every day there's new ideas. And new ideas are wonderful, but you got to have staff and you got to prioritize and you got to put it all together. And when John and I sat a year ago and said, you know what, I got all these guys, including myself, that want to do so much, but we got to be realistic here. We got to get it together. We got to come up with a 2-year plan. And that's why I'm happy with this document, because it did exactly that. It didn't look down. We weren't the board up here looking down at staff and giving orders. We all intermingled. We all got a good understanding of how everybody works and what we need to do and what's realistic. And we fulfilled that goal this year, you know, and we might have initiated it, but we made it happen. And I thank you for that, because it keeps us on track. Because every day we can come up with different ideas, and we look at different things and everything. And that's okay. It's still good. We need to still do that. But we got a plan now, and let's stick to this. And if staff can get to this or do that, then we're able to do that down the road. But again, I just, you know, when you talk and you communicate and you work together as a team, you start getting stuff done, and it's exciting. And I'm happy about that, because I think everybody else is on this board as well, because you see it happening. We're not just sitting around here and, you know, just passing budgets and, you know, status quo, rubber stamps. No, we're working here. So it's a good thing. So you've got something else you want to add?
If you'll indulge me, I just want to say, you know, obviously, there were many meetings of staff, and I can't express my appreciation to them enough. But I'd like to add to that, the deputy clerk actually put this document together. Staff created everything that is in here and argued and wrestled to get it perfect. But Lisa Leontios put this together in-house, did all the graphic design, obviously saving the money, but more importantly, just extending the team out one extra person, and I just wanted to publicly thank her for that.
Thank her from us. With that, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Lang.
Second?
Second by trustee Kruger. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes.
Okay.
13F.
Public hearing and ordinances establishing the amount of the 2014 village tax levy and abating certain portions of the levy.
Thank you. Attorney Ferrilla.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, the village board will conduct the truth and taxation hearing that's required under state law. The notice of this hearing was published in the Daily Herald on 12/5/2014. The total amount of the tax levy for the corporate and municipal levy totals $10,891,414. With that, any members of the public wishing to make any comments regarding the proposed levy at this time have an opportunity to do so.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody from the audience wish to speak? Let the record show nobody does. Any questions from the board? Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion by trustee Here, second by trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. 13F2, Madam Clerk.
Okay, ordinance authorizing the levy and collection of taxes for the corporate and municipal purpose of the Village of Wheeling for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2014 and ending December 31st, 2014.
Thank you. If there aren't any questions, I entertain a motion.
So move.
Motion by trustee Hein,
Second?
second by trustee Kruger. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. 13F3, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance abating the 2014 tax levy requirements for the general obligation corporate purpose bonds, Series 2007.
Thank you. If there aren't any questions, I entertain a motion.
So move.
Motion by trustee Here,
Second.
second by trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. 13F4.
Ordinance abating the 2014 tax levy requirements for the general obligation corporate purpose bonds, Series 2008.
Thank you. If there are any questions, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Vogel.
Second.
Second by trustee Brady. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. 13F5.
Ordinance abating the 2014 tax levy requirements for the general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2011.
Thank you. Any questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Vogel.
Second.
Second by trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes. 13F6.
F6, ordinance abating the 2014 tax levy requirements for the general obligation sales tax refunding bonds, Series 2012A.
Thank you. If there are any questions, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Kruger,
Second?
second by trustee Hein. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Jarvis?
Yes. 13F7.
Ordinance abating the 2014 tax levy requirements for the general obligation water system bonds, Series 2012B.
Thank you. Any questions? I'll entertain a
So
motion.
moved.
Motion by trustee Vogel,
Second.
second by trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Jarvis?
Yes, thank you. Ordinance 13G.
Ordinance adopting the Village of Wheeling annual budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2015 and ending December 31st, 2015.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Lang, second by trustee Kruger. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Jarvis?
Yes, thank you. 13H.
Ordinance amending Title 13 Water and Sewers of the Water Municipal Code, Water and Sewer Fees.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Vogel,
Second?
second by trustee Kruger. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Jarvis?
Yes. 13I.
Resolution adopting the Community Development Department Capital Improvement Plan CIP for the 5-year period of fiscal year 2015 through 2019.
Thank you. Any questions? Just for the record, the dollar amount for that time period, Manager Spondilis, do you want to read it for the record?
Sure. Let me pull it up. I'm sorry, I was taking notes. $36,853,798.
Thank you. Good job with staff, both community development, public works, engineering. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Kruger,
Second.
second by trustee Vogel. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Jarvis?
Yes, thank you. 13J.
Resolution authorizing change order number 1 to the construction contract with Kinsler Landscaping Company for Meadow Lane property improvement.
Thank you. Mr. Tack?
Thank you. The board approved Resolution 1474, awarding a contract to Kinsler Landscaping Company in the amount of $871,655.50. The contract is for the construction of a 13.8 acre-foot stormwater compensatory storage basin for future development. This change order consists of 2 significant changes, one being the ComEd requirement that the electric service to operate the pumps to dewater the basin be placed in 2 4-inch conduits. Under the current contract, 1 conduit was constructed. Staff has discussed the additional conduit requirement with ComEd, and it doesn't appear that an alternate solution is acceptable to ComEd. The second part of the change order is the 36-inch storm sewer proposed under Meadow Lane, as shown on the slide. In discussions with the design engineer, Gewall Hamilton, and staff from PW&CD, it is proposed that this additional storm sewer be constructed to relieve flooding south for the property south of Meadow Lane. The storm sewer construction will make the basin storage available for local storm events and would be part of the village stormwater management plan. And that's all I have, if you have some questions.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Trustee Vogel?
Quick question. If the acreage that we're getting out of that, is that the maximum that we can get from that site?
Well, the 13.8 is what was originally proposed on the contract, but with the over-excavation that's taken place by Mr. Kinsler, we are approximately 23 acre-feet right now.
Okay. Can we go beyond that?
It may be possible to do that in the future. It would be down, of course. We don't have any footprint that we could do, but.
And if we did, would this electrical handle that additional?
Yes.
It would. Good. So we're prepared if we.
Yes.
Good. Super. Thank you.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Heer, I believe, second by trustee Vogel. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Juris.
Yes. 13K.
Okay. Ordinance authorizing the village president clerk to execute a First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement between the Village of Wheeling and Riva Development Partners, LLC, for the development of land at 100 Northgate Parkway and 250 Northgate Parkway, Illinois, compromising a part of the town center to TIF district of the Village of Wheeling, Cook, and Lake counties.
Thank you. Attorney Ferrella.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before the board this evening is a First Amendment to the RDA for the Northgate Crossings development. This First Amendment simply extends the construction schedule by a period of 2 months. The original proposed completion date was December of 2016. That date is pushed back to February of 2017. This additional 2-month request is as a result of the delay caused by the ongoing negotiation of the IGA over the TIF district.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Entertain a motion?
So move.
Motion by trustee Hein,
Second?
second by trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Juris.
Yes, thank you. 13L.
Public hearing and resolution regarding a request for Cook County Class 6B real estate tax assessment classification for the properties located at 311 Egny Drive.
Thank you. Economic Development Director Melaniphy.
Thank you, President Argyris. An application for a 6B real estate property tax classification was submitted by Precision Zone Service Company for the property located at 311 Egedy Drive. Precision Zone plans to rehabilitate the property in preparation for occupancy by a related entity, Precision Zone Incorporated. Precision Zone is the owner of the industrial building at 311 Egedy Drive, which has been 100% vacant and abandoned since November 22nd, 2013. Precision Zone plans to rehabilitate the 9,949 square foot building and prepare it for occupancy by its related entity, Precision Zone Incorporated. Precision currently shares space with the related entity, iCar Incorporated, in its new 72,000 square foot industrial facility at 100 Chaddock Drive in Wheeling. The subject property on Egedy Drive has been listed on the market for sale or lease since November 2013. Due to the lack of interest, the property owners have decided to revisit their plans to divest the subject property. The revised plans now call for relocating Precision from the 100 Chaddock Drive property to the subject property in order to facilitate iCar Team's growing operations at 100 Chaddock Drive, as well as to accommodate business growth for Precision. Precision Zone manufactures, warehouses, and distributes industrial controls and equipment used in manufacturing and other industrial applications, and in addition to employee training. One program is with Solex College. As described in the application, special circumstances exist since the applicant desires to rehabilitate the subject property, which is in need of repairs and maintenance. The planned rehabilitation would prepare the property to be occupied by Precision and would cost approximately $100,000, including sealing and polishing the warehouse floor, restoring the anti-static floor coating, furnishing the repair room, and the warehouse room area. Precision currently employs 4 full-time positions at their existing Wheeling facility. If they proceed with leasing and occupying the property at 311 Egedy Drive, they would potentially hire 5 to 10 temporary construction jobs, transfer their existing workers, and hire an additional 25 full-time workers over the next 5 years. Employment projections provided by the applicant describe a total workforce of approximately 25 to 60 full-time employees over the next 10 years based on current growth trends. Village staff has reviewed the application and recommends approval of the Class 6B term property tax incentive. This is a textbook example of what this program was designed to do. to recycle vacant industrial properties in the village.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The petitioners here?
Yes, they are. Anton is here.
You come forward, please. State your name for the record. This is a public hearing. Does anybody from the audience wish to speak regarding this docket? Let the record show that nobody wishes to speak. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So move.
Motion by trustee
Second.
Hare, second by trustee Kruger. Roll call.
Trustee Heim?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Durst.
Yes. We have a resolution. Let's read it for the record.
Resolution consenting to Cook County Class 6B real estate tax assessment classification for the properties located at 311 Eggy Drive in the Village of Wheeling, Illinois.
All right, just one moment, please. Thank you. Thank you. Your name for the record, I'm sorry.
Anton Koretskov.
Sir?
Zach Kafitz.
Thanks, Zach. Any questions from the board?
Just one question.
Trustee Lang?
You have a heck of a development over on Chaddock. You know, we were there recently, and it very nice facility. For clarification, what happens to that facility?
Well, that facility is occupied and it's growing. The reason for rehabilitate, with our program with Solex College, on this site, we're going to do production of cables, assembly harnesses, and that would be used as apprentices program, work program for people, just who graduate in village. We're working with Solex, with Wheeling High School, and for people to get jobs and get experience, you need site. So that would be kind of a production facility, making products, and for people to gain experience.
So it's this
Hunter
is
Chaddock is occupied and it's growing, just its operation. And 311, it would be for, it's more production. Over there, it's more repair facility, it's more, how to say it, integrator. It's different. 311 would be used as production facility. Clean production with cables and harnesses. So, it's a different profile.
Thank you. This is, as John said, this is a textbook. It's awesome to have a great business like yours expand even more into this village.
Thank you very much. We want to stay here and we want to grow in village.
Thank you. Anybody else? Entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
Motion by trustee Lang, second by trustee Vogel. Roll call.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Oh, hi, I'm sorry. Trustee Heim? Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Durst.
Yes. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Official communication. Trustee Brady?
I just want to see if we can schedule a workshop for the early part of January or February related to information distribution in the community to get people to realize and know what's going on in our community so they can boost our attendance at a lot of these different organizations, to village functions, et cetera. We seem to have a lack of communication in the paper media of not getting articles printed that organizations require a request, and even news from the village itself here on goings on. We don't get it out. The village has so many resources that we can use besides our newsletter, besides the bulletin board outside there, the automatic bulletin board, besides the other aspects that we have that we can get this the word out. And I think we can utilize that. I think we should utilize it. We got channel 99 and 17 available to print information. We have a lot of good non-for-profit organizations in the community that are looking to help fund their programs, and they can't seem to get anything printed in our newspapers, our local newspapers. I would highly suggest that we utilize our resources to help these folks and ourselves in getting the people around here to know what's going on. I'd like to talk about it at a workshop. and invite anybody who come that would want to discuss it with us.
I know staff's working on this community calendar and stuff, so that'd probably be a good time to bring that to a workshop meeting so we can see what staff has come up with and add some, maybe some ideas to it or any other ideas staff may have.
Good.
Okay, Ken?
Now, one other quick thing, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I got my annual paper from the Carpenters Union. That's a regional paper. The Chicago Regional Carpenter Union covers from Iowa to Indiana, from Springfield up to Madison. 46,000 carpenters belong to this organization. And they are talking about the advantages of going into the trade unions versus college to some people. You know, it's a known fact that all the people that go to college, there's sometimes very few of them that make it to their planned career or make the amount of money that they earned getting into their profession, then they spend on it, and with college loans and student loans and everything else, they never seem to get ahead. Where in any of the trade unions, as you become a professional tradesperson, you can earn up to $80,000 a year, plus you get college credits for any of our local junior colleges that you can go to and further your education. You have probably one of the finest pension programs in the trade unions now that you can have. You have annuity. You have one of the best insurance policies for you and your entire family. There's so many advantages to union protected tradesmen that it'd be worth the kids doing it. What I'm saying this for is to help support our STEM program at Wheeling High School. I've been involved with this ever since it began, as we toured our industrial parks and some of our more high-tech companies. I've noticed the need for people. Several of them actually said that they would love to get business back from China if only they had the professional help available here. As these older mechanics, engineers that are retiring, there's nobody there to teach their trade, and it's getting to the point where it'd be impossible for us to get back into the world of manufacturing because we won't have the professionals to do it. And I hate to see that in the trade unions, because what's going to happen there is, well, we're going to get prefabs. You know, our homes will come from factories, you know, wrapped in plastic. And the thing is, I lost my train of thought here. It's something that I think is an advantage to us. It's an advantage to us to support the STEM program. It's an advantage to give the kids an opportunity. They still might want to go to college. They still might choose a career, but at least to give them a taste of what's available to them. And I think that's important. I think we should support that. It's something that it's coming up. You know, right now the projection is that by the year 2022, we're going to have a 25% shortage in tradespeople in the construction industry. You know, that's only 7 years from now. It takes 4 or 5 years to teach a qualified construction professional. So I think it's heading in the right direction. I think there's going to be plenty of jobs out there in all fields, and we should support our high school especially, and the unions. Excuse me. Like 52 years in the Carpenters Union. I'll tell you what, it's been enjoyable. Thank you.
Thanks. Trustee Lang?
Thank you. Saturday was at Walmart Shop with the Cops, and I just have to say I'm so proud of the some of the caring, giving folks we have working in this village, and really, really impressed. You made a lot of kids happy with this event, and more importantly, you made a connection with these kids in the police department. That is unbelievable. So, you know, and I'm pointing out the police department right now, but the other departments as well are pretty caring for this community, and I just want to thank them and wish everyone happy holidays.
Thank you. Trustee Kruger?
Thank you. I too just want to officially thank staff and my colleagues here on the dais for a great year, and I'm looking forward to a fantastic 2015. Happy holidays to all, and a prosperous new year. Thank you.
Trustee Vogel?
Just to piggyback on what Trustee Brady was saying about publicity, is it possibility, do we have someone on staff that's our liaison or that we turn to for public relations officially or unofficially?
Depending on the situation, the answer is no. Everything comes from my office unless it is related to a specific event, say something in police or fire.
Is it a possibility that maybe we should set up a public or publicity commission? Let them go out and explore how we can get the word out. I mean, if you go around and you look, like AMVETS has got a monthly newsletter. I don't know how many people know that. The church has got a bulletin. Other churches have got weekly newsletters. If we can get the contacts, you know, ask a couple people to volunteer to go out and get all the contacts for us and let them kind of run it for us.
Well, the community calendar, as President Argyris mentioned, is going to be a portal that will allow these organizations collectively to post in a single spot, so that we will have a single source for all kinds of information coming outside of the Village of Wheeling, meaning AMVETS, whether it's the Historical Society, things that don't happen within these walls. Everyone will have their own login, their own ability to post. Obviously, there are restrictions. We could talk about that in more detail when we show you the calendar, but that is the point of that. My only concern to any of this conversation is, where is the line between what the responsibility of the municipality is? And certainly, it's our responsibility to engage the community and help in any way we can. But I don't have anyone that can spend the time.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is if we ask a few people and make it a commission.
I don't know.
And let them handle it. Let them be the ones that contact the AMVETS and.
I think this community calendar is going to accomplish all that without putting the responsibility on the Village of Wheeling to be the ones to do that for them. I think a picture tells 1,000 words. So when you see it, we can maybe get into it a little bit more then, because I do think that will accomplish exactly what both of you are asking.
Okay. All right. Along with that, again, thank the staff for everything, all the commissions we do have, and wish everybody a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Trustee Hare.
Oh, thank you. I concur. I don't want to repeat everything everybody said, but can't believe we're almost through another year. Thank you, staff. Happy holidays to everybody out there and in TV land. We'll see you next year.
Trustee Hein.
I'm just going to wish everybody a happy holiday and a prosperous new year, and looking forward to 2015 and a great year for the Village of Wheeling.
Clerk Simpson.
Same thing. I have no announcements this day. Just to wish everybody a happy holiday and a good 2015.
How about an update with Lollipop Lane? I heard it was well attended, huh?
It was, I'm sorry. Lollipop Lane was very well. I think the warm weather was not to our advantage. I think people like coming out in the snow. They stand in line in the snow, go out the door, but we did have a good turnout and everybody had a good time. Oh, can I just say something else? I'd like to thank all the volunteers that gave their time and effort for Lollipop Lane.
A lot of
Because they're
work.
all volunteers.
It's a big commitment, yeah.
For 10 days, it is a big commitment.
The place looked great, too, especially all the toys laying around in it. It was awesome.
Yes.
Brought back some memories of your childhood, some of the old
Yes.
toys there, so it was good. Manager Spondilis.
Merry and happy.
Merry and happy, huh? I got a couple of closing things I want to talk about a little bit. For the second time, probably in the last month, I went down Jeffrey Lane today. Saw some of the guys from Public Works there. They were actually working there today. And Johnny, you and I didn't get a chance to talk about this, but what a war zone that looks over there. And you know what? And I really feel for these residents over there. To park a block away, go through this detour mirage to get out of there, which goes through an industrial park, onto Hintz Road to take your kids across the street to Holmes Junior High. It's ludicrous. And to read staff's report that this bridge possibly won't get done till spring because of asphalt plants or concrete plants closing down, I'm pleading with staff. And if we have to get a hold of our representatives or something, we'll do it. But I'm also pleading with the Park District. If there is any way, maybe the police department can initiate a meeting with the manager, with Jan Bukes over there, to open up that road going eastbound only, and with the proper barricades put up so nobody goes through that park, to give them an exit out to Wolf Road. So these guys don't have to spend 2.5 miles to get the, I did it today, 2.5 miles. And you're taking your kids in a car to take them to school is nuts. You can't walk down the street. You have Meadowbrook Park over there, which is a dead end. You're in a maze over there. And I thought to myself, how do these people are living there? I mean, I feel for the folks that can't even put up holiday decorations. For who? For what? Their front lawns have been torn up for months now. We got to do something. Nobody deserves to live like this. And I understand it's an IDOT issue, but you want to know something? We need to take a lead on this thing and try to work a cooperative with the park just temporarily, so at least we give them another access out of there. Because when the winter comes, when the snow does come, there's going to be real issues there. It was horrible today being muddy. I can only imagine when there's snow on the ground. And we got to do something, because the numerous phone calls I get, the emails that Manager Svangilis gets that I forward over to him, and you're like this. You don't know what to do for these folks. But I personally went there again today. And to my amazement, they are working. But to my being scared, it may not be done till spring. And these folks should not have to live another 3 months like that. No way. No way. So I would appreciate it. I'm sure the board would, because I knew many of us are getting those phone calls. You can't even go to church. Right. You can't go anywhere. It's a nightmare. So if we can look into a solution, a temporary solution to help those folks in that region there, I would appreciate it. Thank you. A couple other things I have. Just want to save the date kind of thing. State Senator Julie Morrison will have a listening tour, which will be hosted here at Village Hall Tuesday, January 6, 2015, from 7 to 8. They're like a town hall meeting. She's asked that we extend invitations to everybody, including the board, including staff, including commissions, to ask questions regarding what's going on in Springfield. Julie's been a good friend of ours for the last few years, and we welcome her here along with 2 other communities that she'll be hosting this, what she calls listening tour. She wants to listen to the concerns of her constituents. Just bear with me here. Shopping with the cops, awesome. Again, thank you to the private sector also, Park Commissioner Kurgan, Park Commissioner Rosen, Mr. Pappas from Market Square for having that little extra fundraiser over the summer for the golf outing to raise a couple $1,000s more for those kids. Those kids lit up. But more important, staff lit up. Your staff lit up. I mean, the cops that were there, it was a full, I thought to myself, who's watching the streets? Everybody was here because they were so excited to go through Walmart, and the folks at Walmart, you know, just graciously giving them the store and accommodating everybody, and to do something that's really neat. On another side note, I stopped over to Spears in front of the Westin the other day. Another good guy, private sector guy, thinking about our community, wants to give Joe Romeo, who had a Toys for Tots campaign Friday night. I know Trustee Lang was there with Commissioner Rafato, and Commissioner Vito was there. And it's just nice to see people coming out there to support and do whatever they can, like he did for the Thanksgiving dinner. He didn't have to do that. He wanted to do that.
Tremendous.
So these are good things that are happening in the community. Just to make a note, our next meeting, this is our last meeting for 2014. Our next meeting will be January 5th, 2015. So I wanted to make mention of that. There is scheduled meetings just to update everybody with the Village of Wheeling and the Wheeling Park District with this ad hoc committee regarding the senior center, which will commence a couple meetings this week. So hopefully then sometime in January we'll have some answers to report back to not just the commission at the Park District, but also this board as well. I'm happy about that. Bear with me, I have my notes all over the place here. Top of the cog, meetings, believe it or not, I think that's it, John. I just want to wish real quick. Go ahead.
On that Jeffrey Avenue Bridge, I think all of us have heard the same thing. I know we're breaking from here, but can the staff put out something on the TV screens, whatever, to notify those people, to let them know that something is in the works, because I think it's important
It's so
that
important.
once we leave tonight, that all of a sudden we're coming back in January and nothing's been accomplished. Either way, the public needs to know if something's going to take place on that road.
Well, I think really, getting back to what I said, I think it's going to end up being a cooperative with the
Right.
Park District, with us, in doing something. And
Well-
John, you need to figure that out.
Yeah, if I can interject, the answer, and I already sent an email, the answer is that the project just needs to be done. There are reasons why the Park District wouldn't open that road, and certainly we understand them.
Okay.
So let's avoid all that and just finish the project.
Well, the project, I
So
don't
the
think it's
public
gonna-
understands
I
it's not
understand,
our
but I don't think the
project.
project's going to get done before spring.
And I think we need to make sure that that is the final answer. If there is any opportunity to get it done, it needs to get done.
Okay. But if we can
Beyond
do...
that, we will do
But
exactly
beyond that, if
what's
you can
being
work
asked.
something out with the
Thank
Park
you.
District and open up that road going eastbound, putting barricades, them not going into the park, we got to do something. Because these folks do not deserve, nobody deserves to live another 3-4 months waiting for these guys for asphalt plants to open up. It's ridiculous. They had 6 months already. I mean, we build water mains throughout this town, thousands of linear feet of water mains, and got those projects done in no time compared to what these guys are doing on a small little bridge over there. So there's no excuse. And you know what? And those folks don't deserve it. Getting back to my happiness.
Did you start any?
Well, I was ready to until, you know. Anyway, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, healthy, happy, prosperous New Year. Looking forward to next year. I think that's about it. Also, we have a reporter in the house today. This is an event. We actually knew you were coming, so we're going to have refreshments for everybody after this meeting. So everybody's welcome, so we can have a little holiday cheer. With that, I entertain a motion to approve the bills for December 4th through the 10th of 2014. Motion by Trustee Vogel,
Second?
second by Trustee Kruger. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes, there is no executive session this evening. I entertain a motion to adjourn 2014.
So move.
Motion by Trustee Hein, second by Trustee Kruger. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes. Please join us outside for a little coffee. Thanks.